Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how we generated exactly 750 motivated seller leads who need to sell as opposed to just wanting to sell for one of our clients, Antoine, in 2024, right? So in this video, we're going to be covering four main things. First, a little bit about us. Who are we to be talking about this, right? You have to earn the right to talk about things like this, in my personal opinion. Second thing is the proof, the results and the KPIs. Third, our strategy, why it works, what to do versus what not to do, specifically with inbound marketing campaigns. And finally, takeaways as well as action items for you to implement into your business, whether you're setting up your first or your next inbound marketing campaign, to make sure it actually yields seller leads, deals, and becomes profitable. So with that said, let's dive in. Let's start with the proof. So here, as you can see, is a quick screenshot of our ad account, but I will actually pull it up right here just so you can see it yourself. So as you can see, let's start on the top right. As you can see, it says January 1st, 2024. So this is the entirety of 2024 when he was with us, right? As you can see right here, he's generated 750. We have generated a little over 750 leads for him. Over here, $53 cost per lead and a little over $40,000 spent with us here at Bolt Deals. So it's a funny story actually, because Anton, from what I remember when he first started out with us in January, he had mentioned to me that he's been following me for 3 years and has seen the entire progress that we've made, not only for us but our clients, and finally wanted to be a part of it. So the reason why I create videos like this is to share exactly what's working, what's not. That way you can implement and scale your own business as well. So we're going to dive more into the campaigns here shortly. But the biggest thing I want to highlight is that when somebody works with us for a good amount of time, we have sufficient data in order to implement and determine what's working within their campaign so we can scale what's working and turn off the rest, right? So as you can see here, we split test not only creatives, but audiences that we know works. That way we're allocating our budgets properly in order to actually scale their businesses. So those are the KPIs. Here's the fresh ad account that you could see. With that said, let's dive straight back into it, right? Let's dive into the numbers here. So ad spend, as you saw, is a little over $40,000, $40,078.95. 750 leads generated. Daily ad spend was about $100 a day, and cost per lead was about $53.44. So with that said, I would actually want to highlight what markets is he actually targeting, right? So as you can see right here, I literally just took a screenshot from his ad account, and we can actually go back here. If we go to ad sets, we scroll down a little bit, and you can see it right here, right? And one of the things that I want to highlight here is whenever you're actually, now that I see two things I actually want to highlight here. The first thing is the markets, right? Most investors have the misconception that the more markets you go into, the more expensive it gets. But it's actually the other way around, right? The more markets you go into, the cheaper it gets, right? And the way it works is because when you're targeting more locations, you're giving Facebook the option to reach out more people. It lowers your CPM. Now, what is your CPM, you may ask? Your CPM, as you can see on the main ads manager, on the campaign level right here, your CPM tells you how much it costs to reach 1,000 people. How much does it cost you as an advertiser, as a wholesaler, to reach 1,000 people, right? And the more markets you go into, the cheaper it gets, and then it becomes a snowball effect, right? The cheaper it costs to reach 1,000 people, the cheaper your clicks are, cheaper leads, cheaper contracts, etc., right? Besides your return on investment. And here's what I mean. When your cost per deal goes down, your return on ad spend goes up. And that's what we're optimizing for here, right? Another thing I want to highlight here that I have not seen any other agency do is special ad categories. So if we go to the campaign level, you can see right here, Facebook gives you the option to do a few things. There's credit, there's employment, there's housing, and then there's election political stuff, right? What we found is that obviously, well, let's take a step back. Most investors and agencies that run ads for their clients, they'll typically click the housing ad category because it makes sense, right? You're in real estate, you're going to click the housing ad category. But what we've tested internally is we found you can call it a glitch, or a hack, whatever makes sense, right? We found that Facebook doesn't really care which one you choose, rather that you choose one. So we split tested running housing ad category versus credit ad category because it's the next similar thing, right? We're not hiring anybody, and we're definitely not in politics. So we've been split testing this for our clients over the past 6 months plus, and what we found is that we were able to cut our clients' lead costs in half almost overnight while maintaining lead quality. And it's my theory and my team's theory that it's because it's simply less competition, right? So that's a hack you can take for yourself and go make money from it, right? So that's in regards to the campaigns. Let's go back to the document. Next, I want to talk more about our ads as well as a landing page strategy that we ran for Anton and his team, right? So first thing, the way we operate is we run two types of ads, right? We run static ads, which are pictures, graphics, things like that. And we also run UGC ads. So what are UGC ads? UGC ads stands for user-generated content. And what this means is you can go on, find actors, you'll give them a script, and they'll shoot a video using that script, send it back to you, and then you could run that as an ad, right? So there's two options. For Anton specifically, what we've noticed worked best for him was static ads based on the markets he was in, which is specifically California, as you saw in the document, right? So the way it works is whenever a seller clicks on our ad, it goes to one of two things. It's either a lead form or a landing page. Now, you may be wondering, what is the difference between a lead form and a landing page? Well, let's break it down. A lead form is a lower friction, so you get more volume, but you might sacrifice a little bit of quality. On the landing page side, you're getting more questions from the seller, which results in a higher quality lead. But that also, on the negative side, or a con, is that it raises your cost per lead, right? So the question then becomes, what do you care most about? Do you care more about volume, or do you care more about quality? Right? And if you're okay spending a little bit more, setting up the tracking, which is not hard, by the way, I would 100% recommend go with the landing page. You'll get a higher quality lead. Your lead to contract rate will decrease, and that results in less clutter in your CRM. For Antoine, he cared a lot more about volume because he had a lot of partners, and he was able to share leads with other people within his coaching programs, within his community, to JV on, right? So that's the strategy we decide to go with, right? And on our landing page, we like to ask the four main pillars. What are the four main pillars? If you've been in real estate, you don't know the four main pillars, I'd be a little bit concerned for you. But anyways, if you don't know them, that's fine, right? Everybody starts somewhere. It's motivation, timeline, property info, asking price. Now, we have other questions we ask, like, are you flexible in your asking price? Is it properly listed, etc.? Those are really the main four pillars that we try to ask, in addition to their address, and then name, email, phone number, right? From there, what typically happens, and this is something that I stress to so many people, I remind, and I say this 1,000 times, and yet people still don't do it, which is embarrassing to me. Give sellers the option to book an appointment and call you directly. It will maximize your contact rates with the sellers and your speed to lead, right? So for us and our clients, we have an option where we set it up in the funnel or the landing page strategy that after the seller submits their information, they get the option to schedule an appointment directly with the acquisition manager, right? And then on a thank you page, the seller has the option to call you and your company directly, because if you think about it, if a seller's calling you directly and you get them on the phone, from our personal experience, conversion rates are pretty high, right? It's the highest it can be. You can't get a lead hotter than that, right? That's the equivalent of a live transfer. So with that said, if you take away anything from this video, is two things, right? Give sellers the option to book an appointment on your calendar, right? On your acquisitions team calendar. And second, on your thank you page, give sellers the option to call your company directly. I guarantee you that will increase your conversion rates. With that said, scroll down a little bit. This is what the lead would look like whenever they, submit their information. And then, the acquisition manager would do their due diligence prior to the call and have an offer ready. Now, I want to mention, this is strictly just top of funnel cold traffic campaigns. So you're wondering, what is top of funnel cold traffic campaigns? This basically means you are running ads to people who have never heard about you or just seeing your company for the first time, right? There's more. There's three pillars that we use for our clients to maximize conversion rates with inbound marketing, specifically Facebook in this case, right? The second thing is retargeting. right? As you saw when I pulled up the ads manager, you have different campaigns. So there's your top of funnel, there's your middle funnel / bottom of funnel campaigns, and then there's your testing. But the point is, have multiple campaigns running at the same time, assuming you have a budget, right? And in regards to budget, we always start at $100 a day for all of our clients, right? So let's go to retargeting, middle funnel. So the way we like to do it is we run specific retargeting ads to capture low-hanging fruit. Now, what do I mean by low-hanging fruit? I mean you're basically running ads to people who have already expressed interest, but you have yet to capture their information, right? So the beautiful thing about why we like to run retargeting campaigns is because we get to get discounted leads. How much of a discount? Specifically for us, anywhere from 60 to 70% discounts on distressed seller leads, right? Let me give you an example. If on average, it costs $100 to generate a seller lead, if you run retargeting campaigns, you can get sellers for as little as $30 to $40. The low-hanging fruit, you just got to pick it, right? So we run a simple retargeting campaign in order to capture that low-hanging fruit. Moving on to the third pillar is bottom of funnel nurturing. Now, what do I mean by this? For us and our clients, we set up nurture sequences specifically on text messages, ringless voicemails, and emails in order to keep the seller in the loop. That way, whenever they are ready to sell, they'll call us back up, they'll raise their hand again, saying, hey, I need to sell my property. And then from there, we can push them to the finish line, right? So all of this combined, we want to build a marketing machine that spits out high intent, highly motivated, distressed, motivated sellers who need to sell as opposed to just wanting to sell. Nowadays, a lot of people are targeting people who just want to sell, not need to sell, right? And where you're able to target somebody who needs to sell, typically, and don't be an asshole to the seller, don't take advantage of them, but you're able to get the properties more at a lower discount. And the deeper of a discount you can get on the property, the bigger the assignment fees are going to be, right? So that's what we're striving for. So instead of the boring 15 or 10 or even $15,000 assignment fees, we're aiming for assignment fees as big as 30, 40, or even $50,000 assignment fees. Because at the end of the day, if you just close 2 of those a month, you're at $100K. Now again, that's simple. It is not easy. And everything we're doing here is to help wholesalers like you scale to that $100,000, $200,000 per month, not only revenue, but profit / free cash flow. So it all starts with a high quality inbound marketing system, because if you don't have leads in your business, you, in my opinion, don't even have business at all, right? With that said, let's go back to the doc. So discuss their landing page strategy. Let's talk about some factors that contributed to their success, which we define in this case by volume of leads as well as quality of those leads. First thing is location targeting. We already discussed that. The more markets you go into, the cheaper it gets. Second is sufficient budget. If you are not spending enough money on paid ads, whether, let's say, because here's the funny thing. I've seen investors try to run Facebook ads to attract distressed sellers at like $30, $40 a day. Now, is that possible? Can you get something out of that? Yes. Would I depend my entire business and livelihood on that? Probably not, but everybody to their own, right? So for us, we always recommend a sufficient budget, because if you're not spending enough, it's hard to get in front of enough people to actually capture the leads. And I'll leave off this point with one last thing. If you're not spending enough on marketing, it's the equivalent of me going to you and telling you, hey, you can only cold call 10 people a day. My question for you then becomes, how long is it going to take for you to close your first deal? It's going to take forever, right? But if I told you cold call 300, 400, 500 people a day, the chances of you closing a deal, or the timeline it takes for you to close a deal, is a lot quicker. So it's all a numbers game. The more people you can get in front of, the more of the right people specifically that you can get in front of, the higher chances that you get when it comes to closing a deal. Next, proactive feedback loops and optimization. Now, what do I mean by this? I'll show you an example. With all of our clients, they give us very solid feedback when it comes to where the best quality leads are coming from, lowest quality leads. That way we could prioritize those markets, right? We also have, clients have their own deal sheets that they would send us as an example. And what we could do is we could go into those and we could pinpoint exactly which campaign, which ad set those leads came from, those deals came from. That way we know what's working and we know what's not working. This process not only helps us scale our clients properly, but scales them efficiently, right? Because we don't want to be wasting money when we scale. We want our ROAS, return on ad spend, to stay consistent. If it's at a 5x, if it's at an 8x, we want it to stay there. We don't want diminishing returns, for lack of better terms, right? Lastly, is consistency with campaigns. This is by far the hardest part, because not only because you have to wait, but you have to keep spending money, right? The more money you spend, the more data that you accumulate within your ad account, the better it gets, right? So, I mean, if you check out one of my next videos coming out soon, it's actually one of the pillars that I believe is crucial, or actually not I believe, but I know is crucial to success with inbound marketing, right? Or with any marketing and channel in general, right? So with that said, let's dive into some takeaways. One of my favorite quotes that we have and we share with our clients is, the goal is to not be the brightest candle, rather the one that burns the longest, right? So to me, what this means to me, and the message that I'm trying to convey to my clients, it's like, it's cool if you want to go out of the gate and just spend $20,000 per month in ad spend and just go balls to the wall, right? But if you don't have other processes, for example, landing page, sales process, dispo process, transaction coordinating, you're not going to quote unquote burn for long. But if you take steady growth, get 1% better every day, continuous feedback loops, and continuous optimization, you'll quote unquote outlast everybody else, which in this case means burn longer than the rest, right? The second one is, going virtual is always better than staying local. If you watch any of my other case studies, I will always stress this, right? Because people still don't get it, which is, it's frustrating. I'm just like, dude, I'm trying to help you make money. But going virtual, the more markets you go into, the cheaper it gets, right? Lastly, patience and consistency is key. In my opinion, it's what makes it worth it. Because at the end of the day, whenever we're trying to run Facebook ads or Google ads, or some people are even running TikTok ads, which, I mean, if you're making it work and it's actually staying consistent return on ad spend wise, good for you, right? But going back to patience and consistency, it's all that matters, transparently, right? And if you could outlast your competition, eventually you'll beat your competition. So stay consistent, stay patient, right? It's not an overnight thing, right? Because something that I express to our clients to consider when running Facebook or Google ads with us, or having us manage it at least, is we are trying to build a money printing machine, right? Because the second we crack it, it's going to come back tenfold, right? The return, the deal flow, the lead flow is going to come back tenfold. So it's a matter of just staying consistent, like I've mentioned, and sticking through with the process. That's hard. It's simple, but it's not easy, is what I'm trying to say here. So with that said, my name is Benjamin. That's all I have for this video. If you got value out of it, please do me a favor and don't forget to like the video, obviously. Comment, questions, concerns, whatever you would have. If you're running campaigns right now and you're not getting the results you want, comment and tell me why. And I'd be the first one to raise my hand and tell you, hey, here's what's happening, here's how to fix it. And obviously, if you get value and you want to see more of these, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. It gives me positive feedback to know that, hey, people are actually getting value out of this, right? And again, if you like this video, I think you're going to like my next video up here, where I break down from A to Z how we scale one of our clients from $0 to $214,000 in closed assignment fees in the span of 6 weeks, right? We're going to break down the results. We're going to break down our exact strategy in further depth. I'm going to walk you through the entire funnel. We're going to go through exactly how we plan on scaling him to $500,000 per month and beyond. And then obviously you get to see the lessons and mistakes and failures that we made throughout the entire process, in hopes that you don't make the same. So with that said, my name is Benjamin, CEO and founder here at Bolt Deals, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a good rest of your evening, and bye-bye. Oh, that was a good one.